please welcome to the stage play expert Jeff Harry.
Baby, you can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes. Turn the rhythm up, don't you wanna just come along for the ride?
Okay. I was like, what are we? Oh, mercy. I got inspired by Patty yesterday. Oh, wasn't she amazing? Oh, that was amazing. Okay. All right. I'm Jeff Harry. We're talking about play today. Welcome. But first, let's celebrate the fact that you made it. You made it. High five someone next to you. Be like, you made it. Well done. You got here. After all that alcohol yesterday, alcohol was in everything, wasn't it? It was in a pina colada. I saw it in cotton candy. I was like, listen, dude, like I got to get here tomorrow, right? So you made it. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to talk about play, but it's blasphemous for me to talk about play without us playing first. So I want you to turn to your table, grab a paper and a pen. Every one of you has a paper and a pen. And I want you to find a partner, specifically someone maybe you don't know. Identify someone you don't know and go ahead and introduce yourself. This is why we're here. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Find that partner. Everyone find one, find one. If you need to pair up in threes, we can do that as well. All right, how you doing? Good to see you. Share your social security number. Great, all that. All right, we're getting connected. Okay. This is what we're going to do, everyone. Are you ready? You have 1 minute. 1 minute. Camarillo, I see you. You have 1 minute to draw your partner starting right now. Draw your partner. Oh, what? That's right, you gotta draw them. You gotta draw them. As you're coming in, find a partner. You gotta draw them. I already see apologies already happening. What is happening? What are we doing? Make sure to capture the aura, the essence, the color scheme, their outfit. You're like, I'm not that good of a drawer. What are we talking about? No pressure, everybody, but 30 seconds, 30 seconds. You will be showing this to them. You will be showing this to them, by the way. All right, down to 15. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, show it to each other. Show it. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Is that how I look? Is that what you think of me? You think of me that way? Oh, I can't believe it. What is that? Is that a person? Is that Picasso? Okay. Okay, I'll give you another chance. Take that piece of paper, flip it over. Flip that piece of paper over. Flip that piece of paper over. I'll give you another chance. All right, turn to your partner. Go ahead, turn to your partner. And if you need to apologize, I get it. Go ahead, be like, I'm so sorry. I did not know this is what I was going to have to do. All right, you get one more chance. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to draw them. But you got to do it with your eyes closed. Eyes closed. What? 30 seconds. Starting now. Eyes closed. I see the cheaters. Don't cheat. Keep your eyes closed, Melanie. I know. I see you. Eyes closed. I love when I do it the second time. People get quiet. Don't look. Make sure to capture the aura, the essence, their color scheme. You're like, it's one pen. What are you talking about, dude? Come on, man. Down to 15 seconds. Some of you might not even be on the paper anymore. You're drawing on the table. Why are you drawing on the table? What are you doing? Are these eyebrows? I don't even know if I'm drawing eyebrows. Down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, reveal. Oh, man. What is happening? Why are some of these better? Why is yours better? What is going on? What's going on, everyone? Okay. Go ahead and sign your name in the corner, and hand it to your partner. If you get nothing else from this, you get a poorly drawn photo that can either go on your fridge or the garbage, whichever place you feel it's needed. Very Picasso-esque. Oh, I love that exercise. All right, high five your partner, high five your partner. All right, then we're gonna get started. We're talking about play, people. I'm already loving the energy. Okay, so I do this for a few different reasons. Once, it just gets you out of your head, right? Like yesterday, you were drinking during the day on a panel, then you saw Patty doing her thing, it was amazing, and then you were doing more drinking. There was just like, there's a lot. And like, how do we actually get present, right? So that's the first way, just to first wake us up. There's now a guy with a Lego bow tie talking, what's happening? I don't know what's going on, right? But the second reason is to ask you this question. Which one did you judge yourself more with? Number one, where you could see, and you had more time, or number two, where you couldn't see? How many for number one? Is there a number? Oh, okay, a lot of number one. How many for twos? A few twos. Okay, okay, I see you. Okay. Now, this confuses me. I do this all over the country. I love doing this exercise, and whenever I do it, I ask, why number one? You had more time, and you could see. So why'd you judge yourself so much? Why? Just throw it out. Why? Right, because you could see, and you were like, this is going really badly. Like, oh, and I gotta show it, right? You know, and then the second time, you were like, well, whatever, you know, my eyes are closed, so it's gonna happen whatever is gonna happen. And the reason we kind of do this is because, and I talk a lot about this, is perfection affects our ability to play, right? If you think of most burnout comes from perfection, this idea that I have to show up a certain way. And when you're playing, you let go of the results. And part of the reason why we did this exercise is because for the next 38, 40 minutes, we are going to be playing. And the more you're going to allow yourself to play, the more you allow yourself to be in this, not only will you get more out of this, but also you'll help everyone else around you. Cool? Now, the third reason why we did this is because I talk about something known as attunement. It's the first way you played. When you were first born, when you were a baby and your parent or your guardian held you and you looked into each other's eyes, it's one of the only times in which your brain waves match identically, where you feel seen and heard and loved and appreciated and valued, all with just a look. And then you search for that level of attunement for the rest of your life. You search for it in your friendships, in your relationships, at work. You search for it when you travel. Have you ever visited a place and you got to the place and you were like, oh, this is my place, right? You're like, oh, this feels good, you know? I'm from Oakland, California. That's where I live. Let's go, Oakland. Bay Area, yay area, right? I was in Oakland for a day and a half. I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and I was like, oh, this is the West Coast Brooklyn. I get it. I see you. And I was there and the energy, and I was like, this is my place. These are my people, right? And we're trying to constantly do this as professionals in the tourism industry, right? To create these attunement moments so that people are like, this is where I want to be. I don't know why, but I love Camarillo. I need to go to Camarillo all the time, right? They are actually sponsoring this talk. I just want to let you know. They don't know that yet, but. So we are constantly looking for that, and constantly looking for that attunement. And frankly, we just did an exercise of attunement, right? So you're constantly looking at that. Figure this out even in your meetings, and keep asking yourself this question: how can we attune? How do we create this playground so that we can attune with our tourists? So what are we covering today? By the way, all the backgrounds, I took them from different parts of California. So you might be like, oh, that's mine. And then others are going to be like, I don't see mine in here. This is ridiculous, right? So what we're going to be covering is we're going to be talking about why is play important. A lot of you already bought in. A lot of you are loving it. But some of you be like, I don't really get it. What are we talking about, right? Second, we're going to identify our play values. Who are we? How do we connect to play in our own way? Then we're going to be talking about the connection between play and flow. Because when you're in flow, you're 5 times more productive. And then finally, we're going to rediscover our ultimate playground, wherever we are at. Okay, so that's what we're covering. But beforehand, we have to talk about something. Who is this dude? All right, so this is me pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. All right? It's been tough. Full head of hair, 2020. That's 2020 right there. Believe me, okay? And who saw the movie Big when they were a kid? Right? With Tom Hanks and he dances on the piano? Well, I saw the movie Big and I was like, oh, I want to be in the toy industry. Is that all I have to do? So I went to FEO Schwartz, danced on the piano. No one offered me a job, very disappointed, right? And then I started writing toy companies and I did not stop for 16 years. And then I finally got into the toy industry. And have you ever gotten exactly what you've always wanted and have been so disappointed when you got there? No toys, no fun, no play, no high fives, no joy. We might as well have been selling light fixtures. I was like, what's happening, right? So I had to leave my dream industry. I left Brooklyn, came to the Bay Area, and I needed a job, and I found a job on Craigslist. And if you know anything about Craigslist, super shady site, all right? Like you buy furniture and you're like, meet me in the alley. You know, you're like, okay, I don't know if I should be there. But and it was 7 of us, and I found this job on Craigslist paying $150 a week, teaching kids engineering with Lego. It was only 7 of us, but we played, and we were just making it up as we went along. And what happened is it went from 7 people to 400 people. It became the largest Lego-inspired STEM organization in the US. We started partnering with Lego. We traveled all over the world. I built the world's longest Lego chain in Ventura. I don't know where Ventura is at, but then we did that. But we had no idea what we were doing. No business plan. We picked cities we thought were fun. We picked people we thought were fun. We just made it up as we went along. But the main focus was about play. Because we couldn't pay people, so what was the joy? The joy was like, hey, you get to play for a living, right? And people would stay. So I learned this whole method, and then eventually I left and started my own organization, just talking about how to make work suck less through play. Let's talk about it. Hey, great way to make work suck less. Let's cancel meetings. Can we just cancel some meetings, right? Best meeting to cancel, 4 p.m. on a Friday. How do you feel when that gets canceled? Oh my God. Oh, it's the best. Okay, so we're just making things up as we go, right? So let's talk about what I mean by play. I talk about play as any joyful act that has no specific purpose or result, where you forget about time, where you're fully immersed in the moment, right? You're fully yourself. But then also what is play? Play is the opposite of perfection. Perfection is rooted in ego and shame and constantly trying to be right. And what is play rooted in? Curiosity, a sense of wonder, a sense of awe. Have you ever hung out with someone that's entitled? Is that fun? You know, they're eating lobster and you're like, this is a really good lobster. And they're like, it's not as good as the one I had in Paris. And you're like, shut up, dude. Can we just enjoy what's happening right now, right? So play is like being in the moment, right? It's connecting. So that's one question that I'll throw out to you. I have many questions for you. But how do we actually remove perfection and infuse more play into our work so that we can create these glorious playgrounds for people to actually play in? So when we travel, doesn't it feel like play? Right? Travel-oriented mindsets similar to play-oriented mindset, which is similar to growth-oriented mindset, where you're willing to just say yes to anything. Have you ever been in another country and agreed to go ziplining and you're like, this is not safe. Why did I agree to do this? But you're like, I'm traveling, let's do this, right? Let me hop on this moped, let's go to a deserted island. Am I gonna get kidnapped or is this gonna be the greatest day of my life? You don't know, but you're willing, you're open because you're traveling, you're just in it. And I think what we have to understand is that we, again, also all play in different ways. Dan Gordon yesterday, wasn't he amazing, right, as we're just drinking? I felt like I was at Dan's house drinking with him, right? I just felt he was just like, here, try another one of these, try one of this. Now, and then we had Patagonia, right? Patagonia, come on, right? Now imagine if they switched roles. What if Patty sat the whole time? I didn't see Patty sit once, okay? She was standing the whole time. Dan doesn't like standing. It's not a thing. He wants to hang out. He wants to chill. So think about that. And the reason why I bring that up is because they know who they are, right? They know their play. They own their play. And I think we have to learn that as each city or each event that you're running, that it's for, what is your play, right? Because the way in which Camarillo plays is drastically different from Santa Cruz, all right? When 420 rolls around, things in Santa Cruz are not happening in Camarillo, all right? It's just a different day, right? So know your strengths, right? Know who you are. And that's how we kind of figure this out. So this is what we're going to kind of play with today, with, tapping into the ultimate playground. But for people that are still skeptics, let's talk about the skeptics, and then we're going to get to the activity. For people that are like, yeah, play, but I want to make money. I'm here to make money. This is the reason I'm here, for money. We got to make money, right? Okay, well then let's argue that point. Stephen Johnson would always say, you'll find the future where people are having the most fun, where people are having fun, right? So I think of Silicon Valley in the 90s and early 2000s. That was the place where all tech heads wanted to be because they were solving the most interesting problems in all of the tech world. Even if you think about the pandemic, who were the groups that were having the most fun? TikTok clearly was having a lot of fun. Netflix, people just testing stuff out, right? That's where the future is. You even feel that when you're like at a restaurant, right? And you're hanging out maybe with your coworkers, and your table's like, oh, we don't have anything to talk about. And the other table's like laughing and they're like having such a good time. And you're like, oh man, I wish I was at that table. Oh gosh. Have fun at your table, right? How are you creating your city that has fun in your way? Now, Google, when they first started, used to have something called the 20% rule. 20% of their time, they would give their staff whatever time, and a fifth of their time, to make whatever they wanted as long as it benefited Google. And what came from that? This is right at the beginning. Google AdSense, Gmail, Google News, Google Maps. The foundation of Google came from play. So thinking about for yourself what ways in which we can play in our organization will create the next innovative idea. Because part of the innovation also is in this idea that you might have to look stupid to innovate. You might have to take a risk and fail, right? Now, how many of you are familiar with the Wright brothers? Raise your hand if you know the Wright brothers. Of course, yeah, plane. How many of you know Samuel Pierpont Langley? Anyone know Pierpont? No, nobody knows the Pierpont? Come on, man, the Pierpont? I've never heard of him until I started doing research. So apparently, the Wright brothers were competing against Samuel Pierpont Langley. This guy had $2.5 million from the War Department. He had access to Smithsonian engineers and scientists, and he failed while the Wright brothers succeeded. How? So much perfection, so much ego, so much vying to be who's gonna be the best, right? And because of all that ego and this fear of failure, they only flew twice, crashed their planes both times, gave up. Wright brothers on the other time, just messing around. Just two bike mechanics that just kept failing over and over again. And they were mocked in Ohio for a while. People were like, this is pretty sad. But after a while, people were like, but I kind of respect the fact that they keep going. And then some of the community actually started to help them. So again, you'll find the future where people are having the most fun. You create that. You're going to be able to create that. Now, I talk a ton and reference Dr. Stuart Brown. He's the doctor of play. I think his daughter, Lauren, is in the audience. He's the one on play. If you need to know anything about play, just look up Dr. Stuart Brown. Runs the National Institute of Play. And he would always talk about, I'm going to go to that and I'll come back to this. He would always talk about how when enough people raise play to the status it deserves in our lives, we will find the world a better place. And the reason why I say that first before I go to this is right now, people are hurting, right? This is a study that was done by Wunderberg Thompson Intelligence, but they were talking about, what's going on with people right now. 85% of people seem to have less time for one another these days. 77% of people, I just want to feel something to feel alive. People are hurting. You can feel it. Do you feel it in your cities, right? People are like angry, they're disconnected, they're lonely. San Mateo County just announced that loneliness is a health crisis in their county, right? So what do they need? What do they need more than anything? They need joy from you. That is what they're looking for. That one vacation, that one moment, that one part of time where they're like, oh my goodness, Camarillo is the place to be. Like what one? Where they feel seen, where they feel understood, where they feel recognized, right? That is what you actually are doing. So when you're playing, you're actually healing the world through play. When you create something that is so iconic for that particular person, you could potentially change their life. And you don't think so because you're like, this is just tourism. How could it possibly be? But this is the impact that actually you're having. And this is what we need right now. With all the political disconnection and anger and stuff like that, people want joy. And you can deliver that to them. That should not be discounted at all. And the way in which you can connect with that joy is through play. So that's what we're going to do now. So, all right. So we're going to do a little play exercise where I'm going to ask you these two questions. I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite way to play as a kid? And I'm going to ask you, why did you love to play in that way? But we're going to do it in a different way. Instead of me just asking you in a normal way, what we want to do is we want to do it in a reflective way. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and then we're going to go back to when you loved to play as a kid. Now, if you didn't play as a kid, then I want you to think about the last time you played, because some people didn't play as a kid, all right? So if everyone can just close their eyes, I'm going to ask you these questions, and then we can change the music. All right, I want you to go all the way back to what was your favorite way to play as a kid. Go all the way back. Who were you with? Were you alone, with your friends, with your family? Were you outside? Were you inside? Was it spring? Was it summer? Was it fall? What did it feel like? What did it sound like? What did it smell like? Did it smell like freshly cut grass or the snow? And why did you love to play in that way? So go ahead and just sit in that for a little bit. Now I want you to think more about why did you love to play in that specific way? Was it the freedom, the adventure, no responsibility, creativity, collaboration? And when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and I want you to write down what was your favorite way to play as a kid and see if you can identify why you love to play in that way. What are those 3 ways? Identify 3 almost values. And I'll give you about 30 seconds. Okay. All right. How was that? Right? It's a lot, right? We're going back. Now, what we're going to do in a moment is you're going to be breaking up into groups of 3. And briefly, you are going to share your way in which you played. And then what you're going to do with the other 2 people, the other 2 people's job with you is you're going to identify at least 3 play values. So an example, I'll give an example, right? So I'll be like, well, I love to combine all my board games as a kid. I would take Monopoly and Mousetrap and Clue and Candyland and Sorry, and I would make this huge epic board game, and I would have my sisters play it with me, and they hated it, but I loved it, right? And I realized that for that type of play, for me, what I loved was I loved the creativity of it. I loved that there was connection when they liked me, right? Creativity, connection, and I loved the collaboration. And those 3 play values actually dictate a significant of my work today. So with the other 2 partners, your job is to help identify at least 3 play values. Now, in order to do it in an efficient period of time, because we don't have all the time, is the person with the longest hair will go first. Not saying anything, just longest hair, what's the big deal? And then their job will be to help everyone else share. Everyone gets 1 minute, so if you start your story with once upon a time, whoa, dude, come on, dude, we only got a minute, okay? So you're gonna share in groups of 3, each of you have 1 minute. Main goal, help each other identify 3 play values, go. Okay, make sure you've switched to the next person at least. Make sure everyone gets a turn. Everyone gets to share. Okay, if you're going on to the last person. I see some tables are done. Look at you, way ahead of it. I see y'all. Make sure you all have your 3 play values. Make sure your table's got 3. Make sure everybody's got their 3 play values. About 30 more seconds, Make sure everybody goes. Okay, about 10 more seconds. Okay. All right. Okay, high five your partners. Thanks for sharing. Well done. Some of you might be like, this is like therapy. I love it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then others are like, this is like therapy. I was not ready for this. I don't know. Okay. All right. Now, first off, wasn't that interesting? Didn't you feel like you got to know someone in a totally different way that you would have never gotten to know otherwise, right? You almost see their inner child, right? You're almost like, you had a Barbie dream house, I had a Barbie dream house. Oh, my goodness. We connect. I see you. You're not even exchanging names and you're doing this, right? Feel free to steal this. Do this with your staff, right? This is a great way to tap into who they are, right? It's a totally different way. Now, part of the reason why we do this, right, is again, this is starting to create a certain level of flow. It's starting to recognize our type of play. And when you actually share stories like this, there's chemicals that you're actually conjuring up as you're sharing. So you're conjuring up a certain level of dopamine. It's not that fake dopamine when you're doom scrolling, but like real dopamine, right? When you're eating really good food or celebrating a really good win, you're like, oh, this is great, right? And then, of course, when people were giving you compliments and being like, oh, that's such a great story, right? You're getting a little bit of oxytocin, the love hormone, right? You get that same feeling when you're, playing with a baby or that dog that's in the lobby. I don't know if you've seen that dog in the lobby, right? Right? Then the reason why we did a reflective exercise around play is I was trying to conjure up a certain level of serotonin, right? It's the mood stabilizer. You get this when you're swimming, right? When you're in flow, when you're kayaking, right? When you're one with nature. And then finally, some of you have some really hilarious stories, and when that happens, endorphins. Every time you get somebody to laugh, you are taking pain away. Another way to take pain away is to cancel meetings. I don't know if I've already mentioned that, but great idea. Cancel those meetings. Just one, and then 7 more. Okay. And I think there's something else that we also don't realize about storytelling, and this kind of like deviates from my talk, but I think it's important to say. I run this a lot, and I work with a lot of tourists. The tourism industry. I was working with this hotel, and I remember this story of this chef. We were talking about what connects you to your why? Why are you here? What is your play? What's something that's memorable? And then we were talking, and I was like, does anyone have a story to share that connects to this? And everyone started pointing to the chef, and the chef did not want to share. Chef in San Francisco, phenomenal chef, and he was like, okay, I'll share. And he said, last year, someone came up to him and says, my father's terminally ill. And we flew to San Francisco to have one of his last meals made by you. He just thinks he's a chef. He's just making food. And all of a sudden, he's changing someone's life. He's helping them out at the end of their life. And that connected everybody in the room because a lot of people didn't even know that story existed until that moment. And there's stories like that within your team all the time. And the more we can actually share that, the more we connect with our why, and the more we can understand, okay, how are we going to create this ultimate playground, right? So let's get into, we've talked about our 3 play values. How do we connect it into flow, right? So what is flow? So there's a professor, love his name, Dr. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, right? I had to practice that a lot. And he's an amazing guy. And he would say the best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a volunteer effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile, right? So what does that mean? He made the only flow chart that I ever loved. This is the only flow chart I like, and this is his. So this is this whole idea of so let's say you started a job, right? You have no skill. The challenge is high. A lot of anxiety, a lot of imposter syndrome. I don't even know if I can do this. Then you've been at a job for a really long time, right? So skilled, no challenge anymore, super bored. But there's a moment when the challenge and the skill meet, and that is when you are in a flow state. That is when you are who you are, truly who you are, doing the work that you truly believe in, right? Now, a great way in which to identify that is to ask yourself, what is your zone of genius or your flow state, right? So a great way to ask that is, what is the work where you forget about time that you do right now? What is the work that you would do even if you weren't getting paid to do it? Now you're like, I'd like to get paid, but still, you know what I'm saying? So what is that? Ask that not of just yourself, but also of your staff, and you can help them find their flow state. So now we have 3 play values, okay? We got to raise your hand if you got your play values. Raise your hand, make sure. All right. Some of you are like, not really. Okay. See if you can identify at least 3, because we're going to use them for this last exercise. So we're going to tap into your flow play experiment exercise. So what we're going to do in groups of 3, but not the same group, so find new people, and we're going to do this standing up, not yet, but we're going to do this standing up. And what I want you to do is I want you to go up to your group of, the group of 3. You're going to share your 3 play values. And then you're going to name some event that you're working on or some landmark that you got to promote or help support. And you're going to be like, creativity, connection, collaboration. I'm trying to market this bridge that's been around for 50 years. All right, give me any ideas that connect to my values. Now, this is an exercise you can do with your staff. And this is just play right here, right? So then people are going to just start giving you ideas. Now, here's the trick. You just got to listen. You just got to write them down. You can't be like, "Ooh, that's a good idea. Ooh, that's not a good idea." Don't judge it. Just get as many ideas as possible. Remember the drawing exercise we did earlier? Let go of the results. Allow for epiphanies to just come up. So when someone is giving an idea or you're giving an idea and you're like, "I don't know if I should share it," just share it. As many ideas as possible. So you're going to go for 1 minute getting all these ideas, just writing them down, right? And then switch. The next person is going to be like, "Here are my 3 play values, and this is what I love. This is what I love to do, and this is the event I'm trying to market, or this is the landmark that I'm trying to talk about." And we're just trying to get as many ideas as possible and get into flow. So another way of saying that is we're going to identify our play values, and then you're going to share. Okay, this is the thing that I need to do. Okay. So I'll leave this on the screen, and this is what we're going to break. Actually, yeah, we're going to break up into groups of 3. I want you to go for around 60 seconds, around 60 seconds. And again, the person with the longest hair will go first, and then we'll move on to the other. So everyone stand up, find 2 other people that you don't know, share your 3 play values and 1 event or 1 landmark that you want to talk about, and gather ideas. Let's go. Play values. We're sharing play values. Look at that out here. Look at that. All over my shit. Get all the ideas. Get all the ideas. All the ideas. They're sharing play values. They're connected, coming up with new ideas. This is what we're going to do. Write them down, get all your ideas as possible. Don't judge your ideas, just let them out. Just let them out. Make sure. Helping them out. All right, about 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds for that first person. Give them as many ideas as possible. As many. Oh, I think with this bridge, you should do this. It's the 50th anniversary. You just arrived, join on in, find a group. Great. All right, about 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds. All right, make sure to switch. Next person. Switch to the next person. Let's make sure. Next person, go. Let's go. More go. All the ideas. More ideas. Keep it going. You're changing their life here. You're changing their life. Don't judge the ideas. Let them all out. All right. Last 10 seconds. And we're switching one last time. One last change. This is the last one. Get all the ideas. Get as many as you can. We can do this. Here we go. All right, 30 more seconds, 30 more seconds. Ooh. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Jot all those ideas down. Get all those ideas. We're down to 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. High five each other, high five each other, high five each other. High five each other and find a seat, find a seat. Find a seat. I know, not enough time. We always need more time. Find a seat, everyone, find a seat. We're going to wrap up here. All right. Acknowledge each other, acknowledge each other. Well done. Find your seat, find your seat. Oh, I love it. We're like, I got so many ideas. I need more ideas. Okay, all right, all right. Find your seat, find your seat. Okay. Now, do you feel the energy, right? We just begun. Continue this conversation for the rest of the day. Give them more ideas. Just go up to people. Don't even need to introduce yourself. Just be like, here are my 3 play values. I need this. Give it to me. Just do this throughout the rest of the day, right? To get your ideas. All right, so as we wrap up here, so you might have some ideas. Some of them you might be looking at it, you're like, I don't know about that one, that might be good. What I want you to do now is what we're doing. We've gathered our ideas. We're now breaking open our play pinata of ideas. And I just want you to identify one. Identify one idea that resonated with you, or one idea that's sparked by something someone said. So I want you to choose that idea. If you wrote it down, go ahead and circle that idea. That is the one. And then what I want you to do is I want you to pick a play buddy, someone that's going to help you make this a reality. And after we're done here, I want you to message that person. And we're going to see if this is the way in which we can play. All right? So as I wrap up here, if there's any screenshot you should take a photo of this one. This is the only one I recommend, right? And this is the whole idea of how do we foster creativity and innovation through play, get away from perfection? How can you incorporate your play values into your work? What is that zone of genius? What is your work? And lastly, if we do this exercise, how do we create our ultimate playground? Through our play values. Keep connecting back to those play values. As I wrap up here, I always have to reference Dr. Brown, where he would always say, find the play that feeds your soul. Build an environment where people understand your need, and get out there and make priority to stay play nourished. Because when we are playing, we are mostly ourselves. We are who we are. And when we're doing that, other people join us, and they feel seen, heard, appreciated, and valued. And then all of a sudden, your city, your event, becomes the ultimate playground. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's stay connected.